Hey guys, so I finally managed to beat this new event, Festival of Battles or whatever it's called. This really long fight where you just basically play stacking simulator for 50 billion turns until you reach the final phase and hope to god that you actually do enough damage to finish these bosses fast enough, or otherwise you just die. Honestly, I don't really enjoy this event. I'm glad that I have finished this event now, and I will probably never ever touch this event again, because it's just not very fun when you have to sit there and just mindlessly stack attack and defense for like 50 or like 90 minutes or something, and then just you get screwed over by bad RNG and just get the one unit that can't take the hit gets super hurt, or you'll just have bad overplacement and you can't do enough damage and then just have to start all over again, you know? I do actually like longer events, don't get me wrong, but I feel like this is a little bit excessive. Although I do have to say, I mean, they did accomplish their goal in making an event that is super difficult. Like, good job, Dokkan. But maybe next time make it a little bit more fun than this. I mean, it's good, my opinion, actually, that they did this charge count and stuff, and not just let us stack infinitely, basically, because that would completely ruin every bit of you know, difficulty that an event like this could have. Because I mean, most people predicted that you could just bring a lot of stacking units and just stack forever, and then you just don't take any damage whatsoever. So they needed at least some kind of mechanic to make sure that you actually do enough damage to actually be able to beat this fight, which is good. This definitely makes offensive characters really good in this event as well, or at least offense in general good in this fight. But yeah, you will also notice that I didn't use probably the best unit in the game for this event, TEQ Vegito. That's because I actually wanted to give myself a little bit more challenge, and because, like I said, I will never touch this event again. I don't care. I will not item this event or something like that. Nope. This is the last time I will ever do this event. I also don't plan on doing any more videos on this event, because this is just a gimmick fight in my opinion, which you should not use to rate units or something like that. I mean, it's good if units are good in this fight. I think they deserve bonus points for this, but if a unit isn't good in this fight, I will not hold it against them, because this fight just favors a specific type of characters, which is just stackers and nobody else. So if you're not good in this event, it's not really your fault. It's just the way that you're designed, it just doesn't fit this event style. But anyway, the reason why I didn't bring Vegito is because I did want to do this a little bit more uniquely, to make this at least worth while uploading to YouTube. Because if I just use the same team that everybody else did and just beat it with items, honestly, what's the point of even uploading this fight? So I decided to not bring Vegito instead and actually tried it without him, just to see if I even could beat this event. And I mean, you will see, yes, you can beat it without Vegito. It's of course just way harder. Let's actually talk about the units that I brought here. Okay, first of all, AGL Gogeta. I think this should be pretty obvious why I brought him. He's the leader, one of the best units in the game. Honestly, in this fight I wasn't really that impressed with him. To be fair though, he wasn't really my primary target in the stacking department. I mostly just focused on the other units getting their stacks in, and I kinda neglected Gogeta a little bit, because that's just the way the rotations panned out, and just the way these enemies just die way too fast. So you need to prioritize certain units in their stacking, and other units may not be able to stack as much. But of course, Gogeta's active is supremely busted, of course. That's gonna be the main reason I was even able to beat this fight. But Gogeta himself, honestly, his damage wasn't really that impressive. I mean, Goku and Vegeta in their base form. I mean, Goku defensively is fine in slot 1, he doesn't really take any damage. It's just that the Vegeta side, honestly, isn't really impressive. You know? I've had some turns where I was really scared that he would get one-shotted by supers or something like that. And thankfully he didn't, but I've had runs happen where that happened, of course. Speaking of, I did try to beat this event multiple times already. This was my first attempt, and I actually managed to beat this event, of course. But I think it took me like 8 attempts or something. But I usually didn't even get that far. Like, I did one attempt with this team where I actually reached TEQ Vegito, and I was very close to beating him. It's just my units didn't do enough damage, and then I just basically got timed out. That's why, of course, I made sure to also get a lot of attack stacks in. And also, otherwise, I think one time I reached TEQ UI Goku, I think. Yeah, and that was the one where TEQ UI Goku supered and one-shotted AGL Vegeta. And not the Scouter one, I mean the base form from Gogeta. So yeah, yeah. And other than that, usually my runs ended actually pretty fast, which is because, actually, let's talk about him now, Scouter Vegeta here. You might wonder why I bring this unit, because he's actually not really that good. Well, in this event, he's a god. Like, just straight up the best QR in the game for this event. Like, not even close. Like, he is so fantastic in this event. And there's multiple reasons for that. I mean, first of all, of course, he's a stacker, duh, no shit. But that's not even the main reason for this. The main reason for that is simply he's a rainbow orb changer as well. And this team is really, the key could be better on this team. Like, a lot of units are very key hungry, and if you have a bad orb placement, your units are really struggling to get even their 12 keys, let alone their 18 keys. And then, of course, their damage gets very low, and you can actually start struggling even finishing some of these phases, you know? That's why an orb changer is really good, and I mean, Vegeta is just the only orb changer I can think of that can actually stack attack and defense. And like I said, the thing with Vegeta is, of course, at the beginning of the fight, as you can see on the screen right now, this damage is absolutely pathetic, which is actually really good, because you can just put him in slot 1, get him in his stacks. He doesn't really do that much damage, so the other unit on the rotation can actually get their stacks in as well. So that's also really good with Vegeta. And once you do his active, which should do ridiculous amounts of damage as well if you stack enough, of course his damage then becomes pretty good. Then of course, the other thing about him is the damage reduction that he gets when he's attacking. And then also he gets permanent defense once he falls below 50% once, and he also gets a crit chance as well. Which is why you may be wondering why at the beginning of the fights I didn't really give him a lot of orbs and just let him stay in slot 1 and just eat all of these attacks. That's why. Because that one run where I couldn't finish Vegito fast enough was actually because Vegeta didn't really crit at all, and of course then his attacks really do not do a lot of damage, and that actually made it so I couldn't get Vegito under 50% for my Gogeta to use his active and finish him, you know. That's why you really need the extra defense and the crit chance, and yeah, you do need the defense as well. You will see one turn at the end of this fight where I'm against TEQ Vegito again, where TEQ Vegito supers 2 times in slot 3, and I have to put Vegeta on there because there's no other unit I could put in there. Even with the Whis active, if Vegeta got even 1 less orb, he would have died. And if he didn't have the 50% extra defense, he also would have died. And I know this for sure because I actually had a Dokkan damage calculator on my screen while I did this fight and calculated the damage. And I calculated that if I gave him even 1 less orb, he would have died. And of course, without the 50% extra defense, he would have died as well. So yeah, that's why at the beginning of the fight, it's my #1 priority to get him below 50% HP so he can activate these extra attacks or these extra effects, and then of course you can just start stacking with internal brain off, basically. This is also why a lot of my runs ended pretty early, because if I couldn't get this effect up by turn 15 or something, I would just reset, because at that point Vegeta's start of turn defense is just way too high for these weak links at the beginning of the fight to actually damage him, and then you just kind of lose your chance to activate this event, you know, or this effect. So yeah, that's why, that's pretty much what you have to keep in mind with Vegeta, but I mean, mine's only at 55% and still he performed phenomenally good. He's so good in this fight. I didn't really expect this, but I saw one person on Twitter, I think, mention him, and I thought, yeah, sure, why not? Let's try him out, actually. And yeah, he blew me away in this fight, definitely. So yeah, really nice redemption story for this Vegeta, for sure. Because outside of this event, like I said, he's just trash. Like, just a joke. It's such a terrible designed unit, but for this event, he's a god. Maybe this was intentional, or maybe they were just lucky, I don't know, but yeah, Vegeta is a god in this event. Next, let's actually talk about Full Power Freezer here. I do know a lot of people use Namek Goku in this event as well, and he would work just as fine as well. The thing with Namek Goku is though, and that's why I prefer Full Power Freezer, against superclass units, and this event is mostly against superclass enemies. There's only like 5 or 6 phases in the entire fight where you fight extreme class characters. Against superclass enemies, Goku is really not that good because he loses the extra attack He also, I think, gets extra key against extreme class units, which of course he also misses out on then. And then, I mean, the team already has enough key problems as it is. So bringing a unit like Frieza who gets extra key against super class units is really helpful. And of course, Frieza's damage is like not even in the same dimension as Namek Goku's, dude. The Frieza does so much damage, dude, once he really gets going. Like, his attack stats were actually higher than the base forms from the LR Gods and the LR Super Saiyan 4. That's how crazy this guy gets. Of course, his defense isn't that high, of course. The thing is, he has 70% damage reduction in slot 1. And if you use a Whis, he's basically invincible. Like, TEQ Vegito at the end could do like a 1 billion super or something like that, and Frieza would still take double digits as long as you have a Whis up. That's just the way damage reduction works in this game. And that's why I just prefer Frieza in this event. And also his active skill can really save your ass as well if you find yourself struggling to do enough damage. I don't think I've actually used it in this fight. I did one time, but then I just reset the turn because it didn't do enough damage. But this is also, of course, something nice to have in your back pocket, you know? Now let's talk about probably the MVP in this entire fight, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Gogeta was definitely my #1 priority in the second department. That's why I also put him next to AGL Vegeta, because like I said, AGL Vegeta's damage at the beginning of the fight is completely pathetic. So I don't really need to worry about the other unit on the rotation not getting any stacks in. And Gogeta, once he transforms, is a complete monster, dude. That dude drops like 200 million attack stats on its 18 key, with counters to do like 500 million HP or something. It just gets so silly once he really stacks a lot of attack and defense. Of course, the LR Gods are that way as well. The thing is with LR Gods, of course, they don't have the super counter, and the super attack counter was such. This is by far the most important ability you need in this fight, dude. It's not even because of the defensive aspect that you actually survive a super this way. It's mostly just the damage. The damage is so important, especially against TEQ Vegito at the end, who does like 3 supers in one turn, dude. If he eats 2 of these counters, dude, health bar gets melted, dude. That's why Gogeta is just so important. Of course, just like him with his LR Gods as well, you just stack as long as you can, basically. I think I stacked up until Fat Buu or UI Goku, I don't really remember anymore. But at the latest, once you reach Daima Goku and Glorio, which is like a huge damage check this phase, you transform them. Then just wreak havoc, basically. Yeah, Gogeta and LR Gods basically function the same. Like I said, Gogeta is just better in this fight, also thanks to the 6th unit on the team, AGL LR Super Saiyan 4 Goku. I cannot stop gushing about this character, dude. This is probably one of my favorite characters of all time in this game, dude. I just love the way they designed this character, dude. It's just perfect. Like, I couldn't ask for a better unit, dude. It's just... the way he performs in basically every event in the game is just phenomenal, dude. This giant ape form, who's just a huge, who's just such a clutch against bosses to take the super attack away. Then of course the support once he transforms to Super Saiyan 4 Goku, which makes a lot of units even better. Then of course the 18 key where he stacks, he gets extra support on the 18 key. Once he gets enough hits and he's basically living in 24 key and he does guarantee crits and stuff like that. He's just so good, and he's just so, like, he isn't broken or something like this, but he's just so insanely good still, and I just love the way they designed this character, dude. It's just amazing. Like I said, one of my favorite units in the game of all time, dude. And well, again, in this fight, he's also absolutely phenomenal. Of course, with him, you need to transform into Super Saiyan 4 Goku first, and of course, the charge count stuff can really screw him over if you're not careful. So you need to transform into Golden Great Ape as soon as possible, basically. If you transform on turn 5 against Rage Trunks, you can usually finish him off with the Golden Great Ape unless you have really bad orb placement. In that case, make sure that the first 2 units on your rotation clear up the orb field a little bit, and then you transform to a Golden Great Ape Goku and then just start collecting key spheres. I've also had runs where I transformed on turn 6 against Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. You can still beat them with the Golden Great Ape, but of course against Trunks it's a lot easier, that's for sure. So ideally you want to transform on turn 5, and then afterwards, I mean, he isn't your #1 priority when it comes to stacking. Like I said, the Super Saiyan 4s, the Gogeta unit is definitely more important. But of course, you should also stack a little bit with him, just so he isn't a complete fish at the end, even though he's mostly never gonna be in slot 1 anyway. And also, he needs to get hit a couple of times, because then he is always at 24 key, and he always crits and gets the additional super and stuff like that. And that's very important, because like I said, this team can really struggle for key, even with Scout Vegeta. So having a unit around that is just always living at 24 key basically, it doesn't need any orbs, it's just a godsend in trying to save keys for your other characters, you know? So yeah, that's basically the overview for this team. The strategy, like I said, is not very complicated. You just stack all the time until you reach the final phase, and then you just start going all out. My items, of course, I brought a Whis, because, I mean, why wouldn't you? And then I also brought the Bulma item from Resurrection F that gives F 25% attack, just to be able to make sure that I can actually beat these final phases. Because, like I said, I did reach these more end game phases a couple of times in different runs, and then I just died because I couldn't do enough damage, you know. That's why I think bringing a damage item is important as well. The support memory I brought buffs power beyond Super Saiyan, so Super Saiyan for Goku, Gogeta, and the other gods are also getting extra stats again. Like I said, I mostly Super Saiyan for Gogeta was my #1 priority. He needed to do enough damage as much damage as possible, dude. He's probably the best unit in the game for this event after TEQ Vegito. But of course, TEQ Vegito, I mean, he can one-turn these fights, dude. At the end, if you stack attack long enough. It's just, Vegito is just obscene, honestly. It's just, I think they actually made a mistake with this character. Because, yeah, they said they only limited him to 4 turns, because otherwise the game's balance would be even more difficult to manage, but honestly, they didn't really do a good job with him either way, because the thing with Vegito is his normal state isn't even that broken. Like, if it was just him in his quote-unquote base without the active, he would be fine, honestly. He would be really good, but I don't think he would be like the most broken thing in existence. But it's just the active is just overkill, dude. It's like the most broken thing I've ever seen in this entire game, dude. It's just comical how broken this is. I knew the moment I saw this, what the active does, when I first read this kid, I was just like, what the hell am I actually reading here, dude? Like, and I think that's also the reason why these bosses have this ridiculous HP inflation this year. Like, I think Goku and Frieza Supreme Magnificent Battle had like, what, 50 million or 100 million HP? And now these bosses here have like 2 billion, dude. It's ridiculous. Like, and the worst part is Vegito can still one-turn these fights. That's just, like, I think they actually made a mistake with this character. It's just not gonna be healthy for the game. I don't think so. So yeah, that's basically all I have to say for this event. Honestly, like I said, it is very challenging, of course, and very difficult, and I did feel really good when I finally beat it, but it's still asking your players to waste like 2 hours of their lives just to get one shot at the end or something like this is just not very fun, dude. And yes, of course, you don't need to beat this fight in one sitting. You don't have to. You can, of course, take breaks in the meantime, but it's still a lot of time wasted, basically, especially if you lose at the end. So yeah, not very fun fight, honestly. Like I said, I will probably never touch this again. Of course, as you may know already, I have this little challenge going again, where I try to beat all the anniversary events without characters in the 10th anniversary, and I of course also mean easy ace and stuff like that, which is why you don't see me using Full Power Frieza like Goku or Buhan or the other gods or the Super Saiyan Force or something like this, because then that would just be way too easy. I have already done every Red Zone stage without the 10th anniversary characters. I'm currently working on the Battle Hard Formidable Foes event. I tried to no item these stages because the Battle Hard Formidable Foes stage, not the Red Zone ones, but the Battle Hard Formidable Foes stages. But the thing is, I don't know if I can actually do it or not. We'll see. Because if you use items, I mean, then it's just gonna be way too easy because you can use 4 items. So I do try to no item it, but if it's just taking too long, then I'm just saying screw it. I will probably not do the Supreme Magnificent Battle stages. I mean, I could do the last 2 stages, I guess, because they can get a little bit difficult at the end, but other than that, these stages aren't really that difficult. That is why I'm not even gonna bother. Honestly, it's just a waste of time. I also not gonna do the 9th or the 10th anniversary battle fights because they're mostly just gimmick fights, honestly. I mean, I could do them, but most people agree that these stages are a little bit special and like not real meta stages, quote unquote, you know. I think the main two events this anniversary are the Red Zones and the Battle Hard Formidable Foes event. And of course, I will not do this event with our 10th anniversary characters because it's just not possible. Like, yeah, I don't even think I could form a team of characters that could actually survive in these later stages because there aren't really that many good stackers in 2024. But even if I could, like, there's no unit in the game prior to the 10th anniversary that can do enough damage. That's just the way it is. Like, and I'm just not gonna bother. Like, I'm sorry, I have better things to do with my life. I guess I can talk a little bit about the anniversary as well because this video is gonna take a long time to finish and it's probably gonna be very boring if you just have to watch the footage over and over again because, like I said at the beginning of these fights, it's not very interesting. You just turn your brain off and stack all the time, which is also why I sped up the footage by 20%, by the way. I will probably start playing the footage at normal speed once I reach these really high end stages. I think probably once I reach Fat Buu because that's when the difficulty actually ramps up. Also, oh yeah, I forgot to mention, I also at the end started abusing the scouter from the Gogeta and stuff like that, where I basically used the active, saw if they supered or not, or where they supered, and then just reset the turn and just continue as normal, you know? Because, like I said, if you waste like 2 hours playing Stacking Simulator, you kinda don't want to get one-shotted by a super because a unit, the wrong unit took the super or something like that, you know? But yeah, anyway, and that's why you will probably see a lot of cuts at the end. It's not because I do some bullshit or something, it's simply just the scouter thing, as I just talked about. But yeah, 10th anniversary event, power creep and stuff like that. I mean, I don't think I will say anything controversial, and I say that this year's power creep has been way bigger than last year's. I still remember last year where people were freaking out that we had a second red zone power creep or something like that, and then I just no item every single stage with these shitty 2023 units with like barely any difficulty, honestly. Like, it's most honestly the 9th anniversary was more so a banner shift than just a straight up power creep, you know? And of course we got a lot of really good units, but the event power creep wasn't really all that bad. This year, oh god. Yeah, I mean, for the red zone stages, I think I did the first 6 stages without items, but after that it was just not possible without items anymore. Just these stages are just way too difficult. The bosses hit way too hard and just take way too much HP. I think that was actually the biggest issue in all of this. Because, of course, if these bosses have way higher HP, this means the fights drag on for much longer if you don't bring units that do enough damage. And then, of course, the bosses have way more opportunities to kill you, you know? If the bosses still had only like 100 million HP, I guess even 9th anniversary characters could still beat the events just fine. But since they don't, yeah. And that's why I just, at some point, just stopped bothering trying to get no items done or something, because, I mean, I guess it's possible if you're just very lucky, but I honestly have better things to do with my life than just ram my face into a wall over and over again until I'm actually getting lucky, you know? And you will see, I mean, I haven't really uploaded the most difficult fights yet. Even with items, it's gonna be very close, guys. It's not like I'm just coasting by using Reese or something like that. No, that's not how these fights work. Oh, you also notice that I mostly, in the most difficult fights, I just stick to Glorio's team because, I mean, Glorio is just the best TUR in the game, like, no bullshit, like, just straight up. And I've seen a lot of people claim that Glorio fell off because he doesn't really have a place or something right now, and not really a good team, but yeah, you will see for yourself. His own team is still more than fine enough to beat all of these events. But I don't want to spoil too much. I scheduled these videos basically 1 video per day, so I should be done maybe until same day, or probably no, not same day, but probably until next week, I think. But we'll see. Like I said, I still have to knock out the Battle Formidable Foes stages, But other than that, I'm basically already done with this challenge, so you have something to look forward to, that's for sure. But yeah, I don't really know what else to talk about really now. It's already been 25 minutes, and this fight, like I said, still goes on for a very long time. I guess just enjoy the rest of the show, and see you all next video. Bye!
We're stuck on a whole different planet. No peace looking at the sky. Trouble's always all around, so we stay quick with the guns and cannons. Standing as long as you can until we get all dolls up. Then call our bets off, we'll blow the guitar. Dealing with lives messed up. Dark matter, every minute matters. Live a while, other lives shatter. Seek and go scatter. If they pour out, we can handle them. This is hard taking over the cave, unexpected, hard to accept it. Getting marked for death, seeking friends, snatched and darkly possessed. The thought inside, still in the body and breath. So only a shell is left. Witness the hell in the flesh, a fight to the death. Screaming, where's the relief? Maybe no more sleep. All swallowed in grief. Images start to stalk my release. I hear voices, but no one talking to me.
It's like I'm washing away my peaceful days anyway. Anyhow, nothing left of the sea. If you were losing your way, you need some protection. Right, I'll get you wherever you go. They could find you with sticky. Wherever you try, tell me that you just can't be there.
So we can sharpen skills, but now we can only feel all the pain of the danger, we can real, and we may have to kill just to stay alive, cause they taking away close mates, and we don't know our own fates. We've been tasked to protect and take on those, but now this black time is new with the damage, it's quick, it moves really fast, cause it covers everything. This wasn't in the profile, so now we have to find a way to win before we die out. Living life on the run with a hand on the gun, where's the exit? We can't go back where we came from, we can't go back where we came from. We're stuck on a different planet. A lot more than we can manage, but we gotta keep on standing. We're stuck on a different planet. A lot more than we can manage, but we gotta keep on standing. Just wanna live in peace, yeah. Black cars wanna keep us restless, running just to own our own ground. Just wanna live in peace, yeah. Black cars wanna keep us restless, running just to keep our own ground. People are dripping black tar, it's taking a ship down so far. Don't wanna lose hope, but here we are. Wishing to see the sun rise, but the sun doesn't rise in this sky. Black tar covers most eyes.
汚ねえ花火だ。本気を見せてやる。全力でいくぞ。 いよいよこの俺の必殺技を見せてやるか。これであの世へ送ってやる。ウルトラビッグバンカメハメハ。